Ever lit $10,000 on fire with OpenAI? As you can see here, for this list enrichment, $10,000 of OpenAI spend was wasted because we used the wrong prompt. The worst part is, this could have been done for about $1,000. We literally spent 10 times more than we needed to for the same data set because we used bad prompt engineering and the wrong AI model. In this video, I'm going to show you how you can still retain over 94% accuracy with your OpenAI calls while dropping the price by over 80% with a super simple, easy trick that we use across all of our clients to avoid this mistake. And this could save you a ton of money. It all comes down to how you prompt AI and how you structure the AI calls. In this case, one version of our AI strategy, which most people probably fall into, had high accuracy but cost $1,050. The exact same thing with slightly reduced accuracy, but overall still very good, cost $216 for the same data set. It's basically 5 times cheaper for relatively similar accuracy. Unless you have a case where you need insanely high accuracy, which is very rare, this method is almost always a better bet. Before I take you into the clay table to show you how this works, I'm going to explain something to you in very basic terms so that you don't make the same mistake that I made. Here's how AI works. You're charged based on 2 basic factors. 1 is how smart the model is, and 2, how much information it has to process. It's a multiplication equation, and the smarter the model, the more context it has to process, the more expensive the output, the more you pay. So in some cases, it makes sense to use a more expensive model because you need more intelligence to have a higher degree of accuracy. In other cases, it makes sense to use a cheaper model, especially when you don't need so much intelligence to get the same output and you can save a lot of money. Now, when it comes to a job like AI industry segmentation, which is a very common use case in Clay for go-to-market use cases, you're going to use Claygen to scrape the web, give Claygen a website, search the website, summarize what the company does, and then determine based on that company's summary and maybe a few other questions, which category do they best fit into based on your custom AI segments. Therefore, you're doing a lot of web scraping, a lot of context scraping. And like I said right here, when you enrich data, there are 2 jobs. Read a bunch of text, and then based on that information, decide what it means, i.e. bucket into the right industry. So for example, this Claygen prompt is going to take this website and is going to research the site and decide which bucket they fit into. I gave the Claygen some context here, the company name and the website, as well as a lot of context on our different industry definitions. So the prompt already is rather long, and that's going to cost you when you're using a smart AI model like GPT-4o. And on top of that, it's going out and it's actually scraping the whole website, maybe a few other websites, which is a lot of context, and then it's making a decision on the output end, right? So it's doing a lot of web scraping, and then it's thinking and coming up with an output. That's a lot at once for a very smart model. And you can see here it's costing us 1.5 cents per call, 1.6, 2 cents a call, right? 2.8 cents a call, right? 3.4 cents per call. This is super expensive. On average, in our report, we found that the average cost of this strategy using GPT-4o plus Claygen to do the entire thing costs on average 2 cents a call. Now, on the other hand, we can create a very cheap summary of what a company does using 4o Mini, which is a very cheap model. And then we can use a smarter model, 4o, to have the final decision made and use the intelligence of 4o to have a more accurate output, but decreasing the context window of 4o by giving it less input, less information. We're only giving it the company summary that we generated previously versus having 4o process the whole website and make the decision. That's a lot for it to do for a more expensive model. So as you can see here, we're using Claygen just to create a company summary. It's not making any decisions. We give it the same context, but we're using 4o Mini over here. And you can see these outputs are about 1/10 of a penny or less every single time, which is already 20x cheaper than before. And then once again, with GPT-4o, we give it the summary we generated in the last step, as well as the context it needs to make a decision. And we're outputting our decisions for 0.003 cents over here. So as you can see here, the total AI cost between these 2 prompts is 4/10 of a penny for the same output, as opposed to about 2 cents on average, which significantly decreases the cost while still maintaining a high degree of accuracy. There you have it, folks. A way to significantly reduce your AI costs while still maintaining a high degree of accuracy. I use this strategy for pretty much every single AI task that I have, unless I find the accuracy is too low for me and I'm willing to pay more for accuracy in that specific case. But most of the time this works well. And by the way, an extra pro tip, if just the company summary using 4o Mini is not generating the results that you want, you can add on a few subsequent Claygen prompts to research more specific information about a specific company. For example, if you're trying to figure out if a company is a franchisor or franchisee, you can, in addition to the Claygen prompt, do another 4o Mini prompt that looks up if it's a franchise company, if it has franchise locations, or if it has franchise licensing, Once again, that's very cheap, and you can put both of those contexts, the summary of the company and the franchisee information summary, into a GPT-4o prompt to make a very accurate decision while still not breaking the bank. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you want us to set up your AI for you and totally score your entire CRM, I'm doing it for free. All you have to do is book a call with me. We can hop on live, and I will be able to score your entire CRM for you totally free as a free trial. And if you like it, we can discuss what a fully enriched, always on, always accurate CRM looks like. That's all for now. Thanks for watching. Peace.